Was Christ exalted and raised up above all the gods? Every power, every authority, above all the gods. Is Christ exalted above all the gods?
The Most High said that. I agree 100%.
So Christ is exalted above all the gods, sitting at the right hand of the Father, exalted above all the gods. And in Psalm 97, it says Yahweh is exalted above all the gods, correct?
Yeah, somebody said that. Yes.
So the same way that Yahweh is exalted is the exact same way that Christ is exalted. You got a dilemma. It's either Christ is Yahweh or you have a creature that's also most high with Yahweh. You gotta make up your mind, man.
And last one. Christ said, look. What's going on, brother? I want to answer that question that he was trying to answer you. You was asking him about why did it say, first of all, peace and love, and thanks for letting me on, bro. In Isaiah 5, it says, I am Yahweh. That's all first person singular. There's nothing plural about that. Or when it say me.
That's true.
That's what he should have said. He was struggling with that. He should have just said that to you. I don't understand. But
does that prove that it's not multiple persons speaking or not referring to a plurality?
Yes, it does. Because in English, we learned that first person pronoun is one person talking.
I got you. So then when God says in Genesis 1:26, he says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. That shows that God is a plurality then there, right?
That's his majesty. Yes, sir.
No, it doesn't say it's his majesty. It says, let us make. So there's a verb being done there, making, creating. Let us make in our image. So that's a multiplicity, right? So even the image of God has a plurality to it, correct?
I'm with you on that verse, but this is the problem with it. When people run to Genesis 1:26, that is a narration. Yahweh is speaking himself through the prophet Isaiah. He said, I made the world alone and no one was helping me.
Who was speaking in Genesis 1:26?
Genesis 1:26. Let me pull it up so I can read it with you. That's a narration though, but
no, Yahweh is speaking. Yahweh is speaking there, brother.
Yeah, he is, but it's a narration. That's why in Hebrew,
what do you mean it's a narration?
The covenant, like when the Father's speaking, that's gonna supersede a narration. He clearly tells us that he did it alone. So how do we take him saying he did it alone and go back to Genesis and say,
my brother,
go ahead.
I'm confused, my brother. Your standard in Isaiah 45, you have Yahweh himself speaking, and he's speaking in the singular there. And then you have Yahweh speaking in Genesis 1:26, but he's speaking in the plural there, correct?
Plural. Right, that's right.
Okay. So your argument was because Yahweh is speaking in the singular, that means he's singular there. So
no, that's not my argument. Just let me clarify for you. But the reason why he's singular, because that's the greatest commandment in the Bible is hear, O Israel, Yahweh is one. That's Yahweh a con.
So that means that he's singular.
I mean, they say that all through the text.
So when going back to Genesis, when it says that a man leaves his father and mother, cleaves to his wife, and the two become echad, flesh, one flesh. Does that mean that they're singular?
There are two people that became one flesh. They're singular, but they're still two people. Like your Trinity. Your Trinity is three persons, but one God, right?
Very good.
Oh, yeah, I know you're.
So there's a singularity in one sense, yet a plurality in another, right? So
that's correct.
Okay, so do you believe that there is a plurality within Yahweh? A plurality of persons?
The plurality is talking about his majesty. That's why I said that earlier, because even Christ said the Father is the only true God. Only him, all the prophets, the apostles, they all teach that. So that's why I wanted to see what was your point when they all say, remember, they walk with the Most High. We are 2,000 years later. We got Christian, Muslim teachings and all this, but the texts say that the Father is the only one that's the Most High. That's why in Revelation 4, I'm laying right here. Go ahead.
The text doesn't say that.
The text don't say what?
That the Father is the only one who's the Most High.
It actually does say that. Let me pull it up for you.
Okay.
I mean, not to mention, you just skipped over when I said Christ said it, you didn't want to deal with that. And we know Christ
you're putting words in Christ's mouth. So I'm giving you the opportunity to show it. Where does Christ say that the Father is the only Most High?
You say he's the only true God. I didn't say most high, he's the only true God.
You did. You said, okay, brother. Well, you're
No, I said, but Christ said he's the only true God. In Psalms 83:18, it says Yahweh is the most high of all the earth, nobody else.
Okay. So if Yahweh is the most high over all the earth, where is Jesus right now?
Come on, right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Christ is on the right-hand side of the Most High. He's in Revelation 5. He's the Lamb who can walk up to the throne because he's worthy.
Is Jesus sitting on high with the Father?
He's sitting on high because he's on the right-hand side because the Most High gave him authority and power, but he's not on the throne the Most High is on.
No worries. They got two distinct thrones. You got the
That's
Father
right.
who has his throne. You got the Lamb who has his throne. Both of their thrones are on high next to each other, right?
That's right. And one is the Ancient of Days and one is the Lamb that was slain.
That's right. So we got two distinct persons who are both sitting on high, right?
Right. And they are one.
So according to Psalm 83, who's the most high?
The Father.
It doesn't say that.
I mean, it does. It say Yahweh. That's the Father.
It says Yahweh. So Yahweh is the most high. And then when we read the scripture, we have the Father and the Son who both sit on high. Can you get any higher than that?
What the Holy Spirit is?
Just really quick. Is there any higher than that?
There's no higher than the Father, the Most High. Yes.
So Jesus is sitting right next to the Father, the Most High, right?
Yes, but he's not equal.
So they're both in the highest place?
No, the Father in heaven throne is the one that he's the Most High. Christ is on the right-hand side. He was given authority and power from the Father. The Father didn't receive authority and power from nobody else.
Let's do this slowly. Jesus is sitting on high with the Father. Is that correct?
He's sitting on his right-hand side, yes.
On high, right?
Explain what you mean by that so I can make sure I understand you, brother.
All right. So it's in Hebrews 1, verse 3. Hebrew 1, let's go ahead and get the Bible. Let's get the Bible. Let's get the verse.
Talking about Hebrews when it say in times past he spoke to the prophets and then he spoke to the Son. You around that area?
Spoke through the Son. Yep, that's verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And verse 3, it says.
Where's my book of Hebrews? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Verse 3, it says, he is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature, and he upholds the universe by the word of his power. After making purifications for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high.
He sat down at the right hand, or did he sit on the throne?
Does he have a throne that he's sitting on?
I know he's supposed to have King David's throne, but he don't have the Most High throne.
Does he have a throne? Does he have his own throne?
He got King David's throne. He have his father's David's throne. Right. It's not even his. It's not his.
So where's his throne according to this verse that I just read?
It's on the right hand. It's going to be on the right hand.
Yeah, but where though? What's the placement?
You talking about the on high part?
Yeah, it says on high, right? That's where his throne is, right? Next to the majesty, right?
But I'm not denying that part though.
Okay, so let's progress. So Christ is sitting. He has his throne right next to the majesty's throne, the Father's throne. Both of them sitting on high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any higher than that?
Of course, it's not. No one's higher than the Most High. No.
So both the Father and Jesus are positioned in the highest place, correct?
The Son is on the right hand of the Father in the highest place. Yes.
Brother, this is simple. Okay. So he said yes. So both the Son and the Father are positioned in the highest place.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Good. In Psalm 83, it says Yahweh is the only one who is the most high.
That's true.
This says that the Father and the Son both are on high, and they are in the highest place. They're the most high.
So
right?
Where's the Holy Spirit at?
Well, that's next. I need you to focus right here real quick. So we have a dilemma here. Either the Bible is contradicting itself because we have the Father and Son, both are the most high here, but Psalm 83 says only Yahweh is the most high, or both the Father and the Son are Yahweh together.
But it already said it, him alone. That's singular. And then what you said. No,
right.
let me finish. I'm about to ask you. But Christ is on the right hand. You stuck on that. Since he's on the right hand, that means he equal. It's like a president. The president sits on the president's stool. The vice president can be right there on the right hand, on high with the president, but he's not equal with the president. That's why in Paul's letters, it says the Father placed all things under Christ, but it clearly excludes the Father who placed everything under him. And then the next verse, it says Christ is going to hand the kingdom over to the Father. He's still going to be submitted to the Father. He's never equal with the Father.
So when the Father handed the kingdom over to the Son, was he submitted to the Son? Was he lower than him or ontologically inferior to the Son when it says that he hands the kingdom over to the Son?
No. How the Father gonna be below somebody?
Exactly. So just because Christ hands over the kingdom back to the Father does not mean that Christ is substantially inferior to the Father, like you're trying to argue here.
No, that's what Paul said.
So going back to this, you said, now according to the verse, Yahweh alone is the Most High, right?
All Israel and every prophet in Christ say that. Yes.
Okay. Yahweh alone is the Most High. And Yahweh, according to you, is only the Father, right?
That's what the text say.
Okay. So if Yahweh is the only one who sits on high, he's the only one who sits on high, right?
In Psalm 83, yes, but Christ wasn't there then.
Christ sits on high. So it's either, my brother,
I got you. Hold on. Go ahead.
It's either Christ is Yahweh as well with the Father, or you have a contradiction that only the Father, only Yahweh the Father sits on high, but yet now we got a creature, the Son, also sitting on high. You got a contradiction?
No, it's on y'all end. The creature that's sitting on high was exalted. Exalted. He wasn't sitting on high at first. That's why you don't see it in Psalm 83:18. Christ was exalted because he fulfilled Yahweh's plan embodied Yahweh's plan and fulfilled all concerning him. So as a reward, he was exalted. It's not like Christ was there in the beginning. You know, we got in 1 Kings when they had a meeting in heaven, Christ wasn't there.
Was the Father exalted?
The Father in heaven is self-existent. You can't exalt someone who got more power than everybody.
Oh, really? All right, I'm gonna get you a verse real quick. I want to see how you take this, man.
Where it's coming from? Is it coming from the Father of Christ? That's the only problem we having, because you went to Hebrews, but I stick to the Father and Christ when it comes to the. Go ahead.
Just watch. Go to Psalm 97, verse 9.
Hold on, let me pull it up, brother. 1 second. I want to be quick. I know you got more people. I'm actually at work. I'm glad you took my time. Hey, I have been hit you up on TikTok, but you ain't hit me back. I say, 97 what?
Psalm 97.
I'm here.
Verse 9. What does it say?
For you, O Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth. You are exalted above every God.
So is Yahweh exalted?
He's already, I understand what you're trying to go with it, but he's already above every God, though. That's just listen to me. That's like me and you saying, we exalting Yahweh above every God. It may have been a time when you didn't believe and you didn't exalt him.
Does it say he's exalted, my brother?
He's exalted above every God. But who exalted him then? Let's answer that question.
Now watch this. Now what's interesting
Don't run from it. Hold on, bro. Who exalted him?
Don't run from it. I'm expounding on this.
I want to know who exalted him. Who exalted the Most High?
See, and there it is. That is your dilemma. See, I have an answer for that. I can say that the Father exalted the Son, who's also Most High, who's also Yahweh. The Father exalted the Son above all the gods, above all the angels, when the Son humbled himself and then finished his mission and then got exalted on high, sitting right on the right side of the majesty. But for you have a problem. This problem is not my problem. It's your problem as a Unitarian. Who in the world exalted Yahweh the Most High? Who exalted him?
Hold up, but number one, I never claimed to be Unitarian. You assume that, and I just agree with everything you just said.
You believe that Yahweh is only one person, correct?
No, not me. It's not about what I believe. The text tells us that there's only one Yahweh and none like him.
Dupree, please. You're don't waste my time doing that. You are a Unitarian. You believe that God is only one person. That's what
I'm not a
Unitarian is.
Unitarian. I'm
Right,
not a Unitarian. I'm telling you what I am.
Whatever. I won't label you that. I don't want to waste time on labels. But you believe that Yahweh is only one person, which is why this is your problem.
You brought it up.
You brought this up. So now the question is unto you. See, I told you who exalted Yahweh and how Yahweh, the Most High God, can be exalted after he humbles himself in the person of the Son and then gets exalted right back to his position. My question to you is, who in the world exalts Yahweh in your worldview? Since Yahweh is only the Father, who exalted the Father?
Nobody exalted the Father.
Well, it says Yahweh is exalted. Deal with it.
That's not in the same context as Christ being exalted as a human prophet like Moses that was exalted for obeying the text.
Watch this. Does it say that Yahweh is exalted above the gods?
It says, for you, O Yahweh, does that mean somebody talking to Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth, and you are exalted above every god. Okay, now that's not saying he wasn't. Let me finish. I'm gonna land right here. Let me land. That's not saying that he wasn't exalted before they said that, bro. That's what you trying to say.
So Yahweh was exalted then. So you still got to answer the question, who exalted Yahweh? Now, here's a little nugget for you too, because you're saying that this is a different context than how Christ is exalted. Watch this. Go to Ephesians chapter 1. Watch this. I'm going to show you it's exactly how Christ is exalted. Go to Ephesians 1.
I agree that Christ was exalted already. I'm going to it.
No, you're missing it. You said that the way Yahweh is exalted above the gods here is a different context than how Christ is exalted. I'm about to show you that it's the same exact thing. Go to Ephesians 1.
I'm going to it right now, but it ain't the one in Psalms 97 that you took me to was somebody saying that. And in Ephesians, Yahweh himself exalted Christ. Okay. That's undeniable.
In where?
Ephesians 1.
Yeah, go to Ephesians 1. Go ahead and go to verse 19. We're going to read verse 19 to 23.
And what is the exceeding greatness of his power within us who believe, according to the energy and power at work of his mighty power, which is exerted in the Messiah when he raised him from the dead and set him at his own hand and set him at his own right hand in the heavens, far above all principality, power, and might, and those who rule, and above every name that is named, not only in this age, but also in the age to come, and has put all things under his feet. Mm-hmm. So everything is telling us that Yahweh doing something for Christ, right?
Okay, let's see this. Now, was Christ exalted and raised up above all the gods, every power, every authority above all the gods? Is Christ exalted above all the gods?
The Most High said that. I agree 100%.
So Christ is exalted above all the gods, sitting at the right hand of the Father, exalted above all the gods. And in Psalm 97, it says Yahweh is exalted above all the gods, correct?
Yes, somebody said that. Yes.
So the same way that Yahweh is exalted is the exact same way that Christ is exalted. You got a dilemma. It's either Christ is Yahweh or you have a creature that's also most high with Yahweh. You gotta make up your mind, man. What we doing here?
No, that's what you listen, brother. You went to Psalms 97 and thought you had a talking point. That's not the same as Christ being exalted by Yahweh. Yahweh is doing the exalting for Christ. Over there in Psalms 97, that's somebody talking to Yahweh. That's not the same thing. How you saying that's the same? A human being doing the same thing? And last one, because I got to go back in here to work. Christ said, do you believe when it say that the Father and Christ are one, that mean they the same being? I know it's hard, ain't it? I know
this is difficult right here. Man,
it's not difficult for me.
Make me change wardrobes, man. You making me change wardrobes, man. See, I'm at home. See, this ain't formal. I could put this on. We ain't in a formal setting. You making me change wardrobes, big dog. So I need you to explain and break down and deal with, before you got to go, deal with how it is that Christ is exalted the same exact way that Yahweh is exalted in Psalm 97.
But I just asked you to prove that. You ain't did that yet. You're making an assertion. You're asserting that it's the same. You haven't proved that yet.
Let's do this one last time. Is Yahweh exalted above the gods in Psalm 97?
And who exalted him? That's important context. That's context, Mr. God Logic. You know logic. You can't have logic without context.
Yeah, who exalted Yahweh above the gods in Psalm 96?
That's what I just asked you. I asked you several times. You ain't answered you.
I answered that for you.
It's on tape. I asked you several times. You went to the verse.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you get back to work, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, shalom, brother. I'll talk to you again.
All right, peace.
Peace and love. Shalom.
Light work in these scriptures, man. There's light work in these scriptures. Man, I love this topic. I absolutely love this topic. He said that Christ is not exalted in the same way that Yahweh is exalted. First, he said Yahweh is not exalted. First, he said Yahweh is not exalted. How can Yahweh be exalted when he's the Most High? Well, you think you got a problem because Yahweh is exalted above the gods. He's raised up above the gods. Who exalted him? See, as a Trinitarian, we have the answer to that. Yahweh in the person of the Son, after humbling himself, condescending, coming down, lowering himself, making himself of no reputation, handling his business on the earth, gets exalted by the Father back to that position at his right hand. That's how Yahweh is exalted. You, my brother, have a dilemma because you don't believe Christ is Yahweh as well. You don't believe Yahweh is multi-personal. You believe Yahweh is only the Father. So who in the world exalted Yahweh the Father?